What is going on, guys? It's Matt here, and in today's video we are going over the version 262 Midnight Carnival Mulong patch notes. Okay, this update isn't anything too crazy. Okay, the bulk of all the really good stuff that is coming is going to be in the next update at the end of September, but this is a really good patch in between, kind of a filler, but really good to build up your, I don't know, new main or just account in general. All right, so let's get into it. First things first, we have the Legion Champion system. Okay, this system is only really for endgame players. As you can see, you need 8k Legion to even have access to it, and a character that is at least 260 or higher. So this isn't really for early game progression whatsoever. You don't need to worry about this at all until you're probably, I would say, 285 or higher. You know, you can work on your characters, and if you are the type of person to work on multiple characters at the same time, this will benefit you regardless. But the barrier to entry is very high with that 8k Legion requirement, and you know, a lot of new players aren't going to have that. All right, so what do we need to know about the Legion Champion system? Well, for starters, you can only have 3 Legion Champions assigned at the start. Slots 4, 5, and 6 are still locked even to this day in Korea. Oh god, my throat. The first 2 are unlocked immediately, and by getting to A rank on both of those characters, you will unlock your 3rd slot. Okay? If you would like to remove a character in the future, and you're like, oh, I don't really want this as a champion anymore, I'm not playing it that much anymore, it will cost you 1 billion mesos in order to reset that slot, and then you have to do everything all over again, right? To get your stats back. Okay. There are 5 ranks: BA, S, SS, and SSS, and you have to do solo boss missions in order to get these missions done. You can do them in practice mode, right? And the requirements are slated here. You have to defeat Hard Lotus, Hard Varicilla, Hard Black Mage, Hard Saren, and normal Kalos, all within 20 minutes, except for Black Mage, because that would be kind of hard. So you have to do Black Mage within 45 minutes, but every other boss has to be done within 20 minutes. Okay, and then the stats are here as follows, right? You start with, Lotus giving you all stat HPMP, right? Then attack and magic attack, boss damage, crit damage, and then Kalos giving you IED. So it's not super important to have a Kalos Legion champion, but that extra IED eventually will be something really good to strive for, because if you have all 6 slots, that's 30% extra IED. That's a lot, right? Off rip though, initially it's only 15%. It's still something, it's still good, but you don't have to really FOMO over having 3 Kalos Legion champions. Okay, so that's the Legion champions itself, right? The next thing is the champion raid, which I call like a glorified like Monster Park Extreme, right? You assign whatever Legion champions you have. This is monthly, right? You do this once per month, and it has like this switch system. Each character has a certain amount of time that it can be out during the champion raid, and all you got to do is you kill mobs, you kill bosses, right? You have a score, and that score will give you champion coins, right? So each point is 1 champion coin. All right, and these coins do reset monthly, so you have to make sure that you use them accordingly. And you can use these for buffs. You can create your own buffs, right? Whether you want it extra boss damage, right? All stat, attack, IED, crit damage, or EXP. You can use it for grinding, right? So however you want it. I believe it is a 30-minute buff. Yep. And that's basically it. The chart here shows you what the maximum value of the buff can be at the certain levels. So you can get 25% EXP, 2.5 crit damage, 10 ID, 10 boss damage, 25 attack, and 50 all stats / 2000 500 HP. It's not amazing, but it's a buff, right? It's not, you know, it's not like a permanent temp stat or anything. It's just a 30-minute buff. You probably don't want to max out, you know, level 5, because the higher that you want your level to be, you know, for that particular stat, the more coins it's going to cost, right? So, as seen here. So just be aware of that, right? But this is a monthly thing, right, that you are going to want to do to get additional either EXP while grinding or damage against a certain boss. Okay. Before we continue, right, I also want to go over, and I have this little thing here. I have a notepad for different parts of these patch notes. So before we get into like the merge and everything, I have this right here, boom, on the top right screen, talking about Legion champions, right? People ask me a lot, what are my Legion champions, right? So in Reg server, I'm going to have Wild Hunter and Marksman already confirmed, and possibly going to be making a Kana, right, as my third Legion champion. I'm thinking about making a Kana at this point. And then on Reboot, I have my Arc, Dawn Warrior, and Bowmaster as my 3 strongest characters, you know, in there. So those are going to be my Legion champions in the respective servers. And then as for recommendations, you know, first things first, anything that you're going to enjoy playing. No one's going to hold your hand and play the game for you, right? So you want to choose a class that you think you're going to enjoy the most. And then as for my own personal recommendations, very easy classes to play, easy to get into, would be something like a Bowmaster, Hero, Night Lord, Lin, and Buccaneer. And all those classes are going to be really good after the 2-minute bounce patch, you know, in the end of September patch. So something to think about at the very least. But I just wanted to touch upon that. Okay. Next thing up is the NA Interactive World Merge. Reboot players don't care about this. It is what it is. Scania, Aurora, and Elysium will now turn into New Scania. And I believe, you know, for those who are concerned about this, you can definitely check out the patch notes and read it for yourself. There's a lot to kind of go over. But there's an event that will give you some perks, right? Similar to like the Hyperion transfer, you know, world transfer event. So all players in Scania will receive the following cross-world perks: 50% off Legion rank up, 2 times Legion coins rewarded upon completion of your weeklies, 2 times Monster Collection capture chance. Oh, does Moncol get wiped? Oh, wait, hold on. The Monster Collection with the highest number of recorded monsters when merging. Okay, so it doesn't get wiped completely. Ooh. Just whatever has the highest. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, okay, good. And then you're also going to get a permanent title based on the original world before the merge happens. And it grants a... Oh, I thought it was going to give no stats, but apparently it gives 2 attack and 2 magic attack. Wow. But yeah, you get this permanent title to rep the server that you originally came from. Okay, awesome. And then there's a hunting event where you can kill 1,000 mobs within your level range. Again, this is only for New Scania for a maximum of 20 days, and you get some neat rewards. Right, Gaga coin is Meso, right? You get some 3x coupons, VIP boosters, strawberry farm tickets. Anything else? Nope, that's about it. So yeah, you know, something cool. Just a little event for those that might be wanting to play in New Scania. And if you're completely new, you know, and you want to play on New Scania, then it's not a terrible time to kind of get into that, right? Crossworld Auction House changes. There will be no Maple Point fee upon purchasing items from, well, now we have Bara and then New Scania, right? So no Maple Point fee. God bless. Ain't nobody want to deal with that. I'm glad they listened to the feedback, and they are not implementing that after all. And now we're going to get into Night Troupe. Okay. So Night Troupe actually isn't that bad. You know, some people think it might be a little mid or whatever. It only lasts for 4 weeks. It's only going to be 1 month. But there's still some things in this event that you can really take advantage of. Right? New Scania going to be bigger than Bara? I think slightly, yes, it will be. Yeah. Okay, first things first are the Troupe coins. pretty standard. You kill shit, 300 coins, okay, per day. That's it. You will have the option to AFK for coins eventually, as well as get like some like really basic AFK EXP. But you will be able to AFK for coins eventually, but kill shit around your level, you'll get 300 coins per day. That's it. All right, once, per world. And then they go into all of the attractions and whatnot, which we will go over in just a second. Okay. So here we have the designer rank, right? And festival decorating. So these are the attractions, right? And then here are the designer rewards, and then your designer rank. And then everything that each attraction gives. Okay, so it'll probably be listed later, but essentially your designer rank is based off of the like cumulative amount of coins that you're gaining. So you only get 300 per day, right? So you got to make sure you keep coin capping every day in order to be able to rank up, and you'll be able to rank up once every week, right? Every new week that happens, you'll be able to get to the next rank. And there will be also a catch-up that you can, spend money to get coins back, if you've missed a couple of days or not. As for what you should be focusing on from the attractions, because there's a lot of them, and you only have so many coins that you can spend. I'm sure somebody will figure this out in the long run. But I would highly recommend going for the Rune EXP 100%. Right, so senior rank probably won't be available until next week. So just make sure that you have those coins. So you're going to want 1,500 coins. You're going to want to make sure you have those coins for next week. Right, that's 5 days of capping. In order to be able to instantly get Rune EXP when it unlocks. Right, I think the EXP increase is also really good. This all stacks with each other. So this is 25% extra EXP. In total, so that's also really good. The Arcane Sacred Symbol increase. This is really good for the weekly boss tickets, right? You get 3 weekly boss tickets, and click here for a list of bosses. Okay. Don't think you can reset. Oh, okay. You can't reset any of like the crazy bosses. So you can reset up to H. Calling and C. Kalos, right? No Limbo. Nothing like that. No Extreme Lotus. Okay, so don't think about that either. But you can reset up until H. Calling and C. Kalos. Alright. Good stuff. So this is also highly recommended to get if you care about that. There is a new perk here for Soul Urda Energy and Fragments in Grandis. Where you will get additional Soul Urda Energy when you complete your dailies in Grandis, and this all stacks, as you level it up. Up until the point where you get additional Soul Urda Fragments, you can get 2 fraggies, right, completing your daily quests, and I believe it is like per daily, I think, but like 2 fraggies for completing your dailies in Grandis is really good, right? So that might be something that you want to consider. Inferno Wolf EXP Polo, nothing too Elite Boss Treasure, Monster Park Clear EXP includes MPE. Ooh. Does it? 2 times MPE EXP? Hold up. Wait, that's kind of isn't that like 2.4 T a week? If you're like 290 and shit. I wonder if that's a mistake or not. I wonder if that's a mistake, because Monster Park Extreme is now a weekly, right? It's now a weekly. You can do 2 characters, right, per week. But regardless, this is a really good perk, and I would highly recommend it. And it's going to be available next week, right? Senior rank. It's going to be available next week. Okay, so this is going to be something that you want to save up your coins for, right? Absolutely. But 2 times Monster Park, EXP in general is really good. We love that. But if it includes MPE as well, that's pretty OP. That is pretty busted. So would highly recommend getting this perk, and it's going to be available next week, right? Elite monster, appearance, normal monster damage, 30 boss damage will be available on the final week week 4 of the event, so you have plenty of time before, you know, you're going to want to be able to unlock this. But obviously you should go for the extra 30% boss damage, this home furnishing, and then additional Soul Urda energy. Okay, this perk can be unlocked on September 18th, and you can obtain extra Soul Urda energy per boss defeated each week from the Festival Reward Protector in the event map. This is only going to be available for the final week of the event, right? It says, yeah, the perk on the 18th, yeah, but it is master rank, right? So this is going to be available on the very final week of the event. But it's per boss, right? And these are all the different bosses that you can get extra Soul Urda energy from. And a maximum of 15 Soul Urda can be claimed. Like 15,000 energy, that's 15 whole Soul Urda that you can get for that final week of bossing, right? And if you do like all the way up to extreme cals, I mean, I don't know who's doing extreme caling, right? We don't have that HP nerf yet, but like up to extreme calos, I mean, that's kind of crazy, you know? That is pretty crazy. So that's a lot of extra Soul Urda energy. If you're gonna need that, I'm definitely gonna unlock this perk, you know, final week. Absolutely. This is great. This is great. Not everyone's gonna care about it, obviously, but it's a really good perk to invest into, right? And yeah, that's about it. Okay. Here they go over your designer rank, right? As you accumulate coins, you'll be able to unlock your rank each week that the event goes by. And there doesn't seem to be a cash shop transfer event. There was in TMS, right? But in GMS here, it doesn't seem like it. We're going to be able to get a Terra Burninator off rip, you know, free level 200, basically. For senior rank, Heroic Worlds are going to get a 100% unique potential scroll, and Interactive get the equip transfer coupon to be able to, like, you know, transfer secondaries and, like, I think also Apsos and, you know, stuff like that. For Veteran, we get a special hair transfer coupon. I think this is where the cash shop transfer should have been, but we're going to get a hair transfer coupon instead. Then for Master rank, you have a mount transfer, and then you get a medal that gives you 5 attack and 5 all stat. You know, I mean, it's cool. You know, it's just a long Night Troupe medal. It is what it is. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be no cash shop transfer event for this Night Troupe, which is a shame. Does that mean something? They're not doing cash shop transfer. I wonder why. Could it mean something for the foreseeable future? We'll have to wait and see. As for your temp stats, remember that you do get a generic temp stat for Night Troupe, right? And off rip, we're gonna get 10 all stat, 5 attack, 6 IED, 5 crit rate, and 5 crit damage. There's crit damage in this temp stat, which normally we do not get, right? Crit damage is not a normal temp stat that is given. And then all the way up until master rank, at max rank, you're going to get 40 all stats, 25 attack, 30 IED, 20 crit rate, and 20% crit damage, which is really good. That is a whole lot of damage, and obviously it benefits archers even more. But the reason why there's no boss damage in here is because it's a part of the attractions, right? At the very final week of the event, you'll be able to get the extra 30% boss damage, right, on top of all of these extra temp stats. Okay. Now we're going to go into the Night Troupe Sage tickets, okay? So every week, you have to choose one of these 2 tickets in order to be, well, not only getting extra rewards, right, for what the ticket offers, but also for your troop coins, right? You're not going to be able to coin cap if you don't choose a ticket, okay? So the top ticket is for EXP procs, and the bottom ticket is for Soul Urda energy and fragments, or if you're not 6 job, it'll give you node stones and EXP nodes, okay? So the activations is shared between all characters within the world. It is per world, okay? You will get an EXP buff that lasts for 60 seconds, and depending on your rank, this EXP buff will vary. Starts at 350% off rip, Goes to 400, 450, 550 at master rank. 20 activations per day, shared across all of your characters. Okay? That is the EXP ticket, the top ticket. The bottom ticket over here, Gong's Martial Spirit. You kill mobs around your level, fill up the gauge, and then you will get additional rewards. I like how they include like an animation here. It's like, woo, here's your rewards. But pretty much you can already see that they updated these patch notes. The following table reflects the total amount that you receive after all activations. It's 5 activations per day. It's after all activations. At junior rank, you will get 10 frags per day, 300 energy. Senior rank, 15 frags, 400 energy. Veteran, 20 frags, 500 energy. And master rank, 25 frags per day and 600 energy. Now, that might not seem like a lot. You know, it is what it is. But, you know, I'm going to go with the frags. Personally, you know, I want to put these on my mules and whatnot. Okay. I appreciate the love. Don't need to spam, though. And then if you haven't completed 6 job advancement, you can go with node stones, right? You can get nodes if you want, 30 up to 35 nodes per day and 5 EXP nodes per day for the final 2 weeks. That's not bad. That's not bad. All right. And remember, the ticket does reset every week. So you have to, so you're not locked into a ticket for the entire event. You can choose and you can mix and match. It's like, oh, I want to go with the EXP ticket for week 1, okay? And then I'm going to go with like the frag ticket for the rest of the event. You know, I'm going to go alternate. I'm going to go back and forth. But you're not locked into one ticket for the entire event. You have to choose a ticket every week. Next up, we have the lantern. So this is the event buff that you can get in the map. This will be available off rip. Okay. And then there's 2 different buffs. There's an EXP buff and a boss buff. It does seem like we are getting the nerfed version of it, because in TMS it was 30% EXP and also like 20 boss and whatnot, but we are getting the nerfed version of this. So you just talk to the NPC and then you can choose the buff once per day for each, right? It is going to be a, like, you know, use item. So the EXP buff will give you 15% EXP and normal monster damage for 1 hour. The boss buff gives you 15 attack, 15 boss, and 15 IED for 1 hour. And then the third lantern is the catch-up mechanic. So you pay $3, 3k maple points, to get 300 coins. You can't buy these coins. This is only if you've missed days, right? This is the catch-up. So it's not like, oh, I can like go farther, you know, I can get ahead, you know, and buy more coins, you know, and pay to win. This is only if you've missed days during the event. Right? Okay. Yeah, you donate 3k maple points. And that's basically it. That's it for the lanterns. Very easy. All right, just pick and choose when you want to use these. But just make sure that you are using them, because it is a daily thing, right? It is per day. Okay. And they do have a 24-hour duration as well. Okay. Next up is the mysterious decoration. This is the cook buff, okay? Cook buff is really, really OP. And it is very easy to get these bundles, these boxes. All you have to do is kill mobs around your level, and then you'll get the common boxes and the quality boxes, okay? These boxes will give you herbs, as well as a small chance to get the magical herb, which is essentially a chaos scroll. It's like a chaos circulator, where you give the regular medicine right into the pot, and then it'll cook you up a buff, and then the herb will kind of just go up or down with those values, right? It'll extend the values too to a higher limit, right? So based off the medicine that you feed it, it'll give you certain stats. So we have attack and magic attack, we have all stat, we have crit rate, normal monster damage, IED, boss, EXP, buff duration, and the magical medicine, right, which you can purchase for 300 million meso. I don't recommend that, okay? You should not be spending 300 mil on these. Just farm them, okay? It's not that bad. These boxes will drop like a lot, okay? It's very high drop rate for these boxes. So something to note is that you can only use 2 of a kind, right, for the medicine. So you can't just like, oh, I'm going to stack like 5 boss damage, right? You can only do 2 boss damage, right? And then like 2 attack, 1 IED. So I recommend if you're going to be doing your Legion champions off rip for the event, I would recommend 2 boss damage, 2 attack, and 1 IED. Obviously, ideally with a magical herb. Or if you're an archer, I would probably take away 1 of the attack and do crit rate instead. So you'll do 2 boss, 1 attack, 1 crit rate, 1 IED. And then obviously, ideally with the magical herb. Okay? And then it kind of just it shows you here like an example. These things are really good, right? These are really, really good because for the boss damage, I believe you can have a maximum of 70% with the magical herb, the magical medicine. For EXP, you can get upwards of like 100% EXP. Now, keep in mind that this cook buff is shared across all of your characters. It's an additional temp stat to the designer rank, stats that we're going to get. It does last for 7 days, right? So this is a weekly thing that you're going to have to keep doing over and over and over again. So it's not like, you're going to do this once and you're locked in. You can always like redo it, and try to get better than what you have. But I wouldn't go too hard into it unless you're like a super giga grinder, because you will have to do this on a weekly basis. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, having upwards of like an additional 70% boss damage on week 1 is going to be crazy, right? So you can get like 50 boss, 30 IED, like 30 attack, like extra on week 1. So we're going to be significantly stronger than we already are in like this summer update, right? For the Stargazer patch. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. So it's pretty simple. You just grind, put in the medicine, and then just try to roll for like a good enough buff. Because remember, it's going to reset and you have to do it next week, right? You have to do it on a weekly basis. Okay, cool. Now we're going to go into a Dogong's Mystic Bond. This is the free 260. Okay. You're going to set your main as your trainer, and then you're going to choose 1 inheritor. Only 1 character, okay? I don't think they mentioned here if this is per server or not, like per world. I believe it is. I was told from Maple Sea players that this is per server, but I guess we'll just have to find out ourselves and confirm once the game does go live, and then, I'll try both on Bara and on Kronos. But you have your main, and then you have your leech, essentially, and you'll be able to leech a character from 200 to 260. It's very, very fast. Okay, how fast? Well, let me show you. I have this chart right here, and I have to take this off for now. Okay, so when it comes to the training event, we have some examples here from all of the grandest maps, how many mobs. So we have from Cernium to Talahart. So for example, in Cernium, it'll take you 26.5 hours of, to get your leeched character to 260. In Arcus, it'll take you 21 hours and 43 minutes. In Odium, it'll take you 18 hours and 30 minutes. In Shangri-La, 15 hours and 26 minutes. In Arteria, 12 hours and 33 minutes. In Carcion, about 11 hours. And then in Talahart, 9 hours. Okay? Do keep in mind that your EXP buffs do not matter. All that matters is where you're grinding and how many kills you're getting per hour, right? It's all based off of the base EXP that the mobs give. Okay? So that's it. And I'll have a link to that like in the video description as well, for those that want to like refer to it. But this is a really, really broken event. It is a free 260, and you can just use this on whatever you really need, right? And going into my notepad once again, we have some recommendations. On the top right screen, First things first, anything you find fun, whether it be a boss mule or a Legion champion, or if you're trying to go for good Legion characters, I highly recommend kind of like in this order, right? We have Mercedes, we have Monshen, we have Hayato, Shade, Kana, Demon Avenger, Siestel, Wild Hunter, Mechanic, Night Lord, Marksman, Zero, and Phantom. Okay, Mercedes gives you minus cooldown reduction. Hayato, Shade is crit damage. Kana, Demon Avenger is boss damage. Siestel is damage to debuffed enemies, right, which is essentially the same thing as the boss damage. Wild Hunter is less than 1% at, max rank. I think it's like 0.7, 0.8% equivalent of boss damage. So that's why it's slightly under Kana and Demon Avenger. Mechanic is buff duration. Night Lord Marksman is crit rate. Zero is EXP. And Phantom is messes obtained. Okay, so those are essentially my recommendations for this particular event and what you might want to focus on. But if you aren't really in the in the realm of like dealing with good Legion characters, then I would just recommend like anything that's going to help out your account for bossing, right? You might future Legion champion, anything you might be interested as a good boss mule, right? We talked about some characters earlier that you might want to refer to that, or just whatever, right? You might be into. Yeah. I believe it is per server, right? Again, at least I was told from Maple Sea players that this is per server. So we'll just have to wait and see until the when the patch goes live. Maintenance ends. We will see if we can make this on multiple worlds, but yeah, not 100% sure. We'll find out. But this event is from 200 to 260. Right? No item burn. No item burn this patch. That character, this character that you're going to be leeching at 260, if it has nothing, it's going to have nothing. It's going to be like super naked. Okay? It's going to be 260 with nothing on it. If that's what the character has. Right? Let's continue. Moonlit Mulong Dojo. This will be available at senior rank, which is the second week of the event. But this will just give you additional coins and EXP. This is just a Punch King. Right? That's it. 2 minutes, 20 seconds. But this is just a Punch King. And you're going to earn up to 1,000 coins. Up to 1,000 coins per week, depending on how many points you get. Right? There's a hidden mission as well. And you're going to get some EXP. So, yeah. That's about it. And it is weekly. So, super simple. Nothing really to talk about there. The Herbtown Boat Bash. This is, I think, just AFKing. This is going to be available week 2. Okay, so for week 1, you're going to have to cap coins through grinding. But for week 2 and onwards, you can AFK for like very basic EXP. But you can also get Night Troupe coins and get your 300 coins daily that way, right? Via this map. No Gong's Acuity training. This will be available during the 3rd week of the event after you're done coin capping. This will allow you to, if you're good at FPS games, or like Osu, rhythm games, this will test your skills, and your aim, and you will be able to get symbol selectors from this, either, Arcane, 20 Arcane, 4 Sacred, and depending on the amount of Peach Monkeys that you defeat, you can get more of these symbol selectors, right? So this is daily, right? You can participate once per day, per world, I guess. Yeah, but this is once per day, per world, and you can get upwards of like 100 arcane symbols or 20 sacred per day. Like, that's not too bad. And this will be available for 2 weeks, right? Because it's going to be available during the 3rd week of the event. So yeah, good luck with that. And then we have the lottery event, the Mysterious Fortune Sticks. Okay, this is going to be available during the final week of the event, week 4, after you coin cap. And then all you have to do is just click draw, and then you get a prize, right? If you think you're going to hit this karma scroll, this is a 0.002% chance to get a 20-star level 250 karma scroll, right? If you want to get a, I don't know, 20-star eternal, right? Or whatever. Or TC, I guess, right? Yeah, TC works too. No, TC's not 250. Right, TC's 200. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's also a 20-star level 200 scroll, legendary potential scroll, and then the list goes on and on. Black flames, glowing cubes, symbol selectors. But yeah, this is available just for the last week of the event. You'll just make sure you do this, you know, once per day, and you might get lucky, and you might get something. Or not. It is what it is. Okay. And that's basically it for Night Troupe. Now we're going to go into Champion Burning. This is not a free 260, okay? So there's a difference between Champion Burning and the Mulong, like, you know, training event, right? These two different things. The Mulong thing for Night Troupe is a free 260. The Champion Burning is not a free 260, but you'll be able to get a character up to, depending on what level you started at, right? You can even start at 260, which you will get up to, I believe, 3 levels, right? From 260 to 263, roughly. And it's available. This event will be available for 8 weeks, all right? And it's once per account. Okay. I don't know if I want to do this now on regular reboot, but it's only for once per account, okay? However, Champion Double Up will run simultaneously together in all main worlds and challenger worlds. This means you can designate characters in both main worlds and challenger world at the same time. Okay, but then they said that participation is limited to once per account. I don't get that, but I guess you can do this like in Bara and then Challenger Interactive, or you could, if you're playing in Chronos, you can do in Chronos and then Challenger, you know, Heroic, right? I guess that's what they mean. But yeah, this is only going to be one per account. You have your leader and your 2 followers. Your leader can kill up to 100,000 monsters per week. You're gonna get coins for all your characters, and then your side characters, your followers, will get EXP points, right? And then those EXP points you can redeem for actual experience on those characters. Now, I don't know if this is new. Correct me if I'm not. But yeah, your leader will get 15% EXP and normal monster damage for the first 100k kills every week. I don't know if we had this, because we've had Champion Burning once before, right? So I don't know if this was here last time. That's new. Yeah, that's cool. So extra EXP, you know, for the leader that is trying to get the 100k kills per week. Your leader can be changed once a week, and you can choose a new leader by selecting any designated champion. So you can't swap your leader. You can basically swap your follower and leader. Like if you want to make your follower the leader, you know, or vice versa, you can. But you can't just like put like a brand new character as the leader. Once this is locked in, these 3 characters, you can't change them. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay. Double up EXP points, right? You know, 100k mobs, you're gonna get 100k points every week. These can be used on burning characters. Unlike the Mulong event, you know, you can't use that on a burning character. But you can designate a burning character if you still have one for this Champion Double Up event, which is really good. That's Pog. Maybe that is a free 260, you know? Like if you're hyper burning, if you still have hyper burning, you know, and you want to assign the character as one of the followers, yeah, then maybe it will reach 260. Who knows? But yeah, so pretty self-explanatory, right? Every character gets coins. Characters will get EXP points. You trade those points into actual EXP, and it resets every event reset, which is Wednesday in game. Now for this, we do have a calculator from Maple Road, basically telling you what level you should expect to be. So at 100,000 points per week, you can get a total of 800,000 points. You can see here, I already pre-entered. If I'm level 200, right, and I do this event for 800,000, points, you should expect to be basically 233 by the end of the event. Now, let's say you were hyper burning, and if we were to calculate that, you would be 255, 34%, right? If you're level 200 and you were hyper burning, yeah, I believe last event was 900k. This is only 8 weeks long this time around, right? You would be 255, right? If you are 210, right, you would be 234, 50%. If you're 220, you'll be 236, and then 230. I'll just go everything. 230, you'll be 240, almost 241. If you start at 240 for this event, you'll be 246, almost 247. If you're 250, you'll be 253, 60%. And if you're 260, you'll end up being about 263, 262, 80%, because we're only getting 8 weeks of the event, not 9 weeks like we did last time. So it's only 800,000 points this time around. And again, I will link this in the description of the video if you want to play around with this yourself. But that's basically what you can expect from this champion double up event. The boss portion will be later, okay? So it's not like, oh, we're not getting the boss part. There will be boss, missions, but that will be at a later date, probably in the next patch. If I had to take a guess, it'll be like in the next patch, end of September. We might get the boss portion, so we'll just have to wait for that. There's a coin shop, right? So if you cared about the levels, oh yeah, and then I have my I have my notepad before we continue. Nothing crazy here, just for champion burning notes. I said this is good for a boss mule, whether you want like a hard low mule, hard Lu will mule, anything like that, depending on what level you start at, or just like a legion character, right? I meant to emphasize this, right? Not a free 260. It's not a free 260. But any kind of like legion character that you might want to like prep up and set up for like mag pots, so it drinks mag pots, you can get it to 250 slowly that way. It's also a really good use for champion burning. Okay. And yeah, the coin shop has some decent things, right? Has an event ring, 150 eternal flames, 100 black flames, some bonus mystical cubes for reg server, karma unique scroll, epic bonus pot scroll, right, if you're in reg server, some solid and karma hard cubes, node stones, right, 200 nodes, 10 exp nodes, some honor medals, 1 mag pot, 50 fraggies. It's got 50 fraggies in there, right? 1 soul urta enter. Why does 1 soul urta, why is that the same price as a mag pot? I don't get that. Why do they value 1 whole soul urta the same as a mag pot? That's kind of crazy. I don't know. That's insane. But yeah, 10,000 of your coins for 1 soul urta. That's kind of dumb, not gonna lie. But yeah, you can get 50 fraggies if you want. Yeah, for your followers. So that might influence, like the coin shop might influence who you choose as a follower. You could just go with like 2 other 260 characters. They'll be basically 263. Go do fucking Monster Park Extreme once on each character. You'll be 263 basically. But that might influence, this coin shop might influence what character you might want to set as the follower, right? So just keep that in mind. Sunny Sundays. We went over this in the patch preview, but for Sunny Sundays, let's just go over this really quickly. August 31st, there is a 1+1 event for mules to get your items to 12 stars very easily. And then a 250% Monster Park EXP, Portal EXP. September 7th, we have a Shining Star Force event, okay, which is a 5, 10, 15, and a 30% off at the same time. This is probably going to be the last Shining? Question mark? I don't know. Maybe not. But possibly the last Shining before the new Star Force system? We'll see. Very, very random Shining Star Force event in September. Like, very, very random. September 14th, we have a, you know, Giga Grind Rune EXP event as well. September 21st, more Monster Park EXP, more Portal EXP, and half off Honor. September 28th, we have the Hexa Sunny Sunday and a 30% off Star Force event. October 5th, more Monster Park EXP and Portal EXP. And then October 12th, we have another Giga Grind Sunny Sunday, as well as Monster Collection Sunny Sunday. And that's it. And then some bug fixes. Okay, I don't think it really matters too much. Yeah, some Hexa Masteries didn't have sound effects. Apparently, Lin's Beak Strike would sometimes travel too far, slowing its attack ray. So I guess Lin is actually getting buffed? Question mark? Lin buff? You know? Some UI fixes as well. Item bug fixes. Yep, that's about it. So I don't think anything else is like that crazy. But that's essentially, that's the patch. There you go. That is version 262 in a nutshell. So, I mean, if you have any comments or concerns, you can let me know. But that's going to be it for this update. And then just to quickly go over the Cash Shop update. Explorer packages are back. That's it. TLDR. If you weren't around for when these went on sale the first time, you can buy them now. Right? You can get 15. Explorer title has no stats. Okay, it should be the same as last time. This has no stats. But it's 100 KNX for 15 of these packages. I believe you can also buy them individually if you want to. But yeah, these are really nice, really cool packages. Again, if you weren't around for when these were on sale last time, oh god, you can buy them now. And yeah, that's going to be it for version 262, Midnight Carnival, Mulong Night Troupe. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. I will see you in the next video.